And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. Hope you have a beautiful little Thursday morning. Wishing you all a blessed and highly favored day. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Bitcoin's price targets, some of the top altcoin price targets, whether we are more bullish or bearish on this market. By the way, don't forget to hit the like button. It'll help out the channel. And I would say, again, traditional markets today are kind of going to continue to run the market as we have some more reactionary earning reports coming out today, big names like Amazon and Apple. But I do want to follow up on the last day's price action analysis for Bitcoin, following up on the higher term time frames like the daily. And what I would say here, let's see, bringing up my drawing tools here again. And what we did say is if we did have a daily closure below 39,000 on the daily, very likely to hit somewhere around 37,000 with a small bounce and then 34,000 ultimately. However, we did say, hey, look, we'd have a bear trap confirmation with any kind of a daily closure back above 41,000 on CMEs, which is coming in here. Right here at, call it 41,000. Yeah, back above here, that would be the bear trap initiated. And then on spot price action, we're just looking for a daily closure back above 39,500, which is what we're getting right now. Really, above 44,500, and then we are going to be looking for that deeper target somewhere between 50 and 54,000. But again, the big thing I want to talk about is still this 45% move, which has been baking on the 5-day BBWP. When we start to see expansion above the 20% region on the volatility indicator, that's going to get our next big 45% moves, which were denoted on these last 1, 2, 3, 4 expansions from a very low level. But again, let's check in on some of the underlying market dynamics. Following up on the open interest here, which is currently coming down at 12.6 billion. Still pretty high, but not in that 13 to 14 billion dollar area, which is where we typically see the 25% correction play out. We got the leverage ratio today, which is coming in at a 0.25. It's come down from yesterday, so we're still at all-time highs for leverage. And we got the fear and greed index, which is coming in here at a 24. So we're still in the extremely fearful zone. If we look over the last year, typically we have seen some bounces come out of this region. I would like it to come back down to around 10 before I'm looking for a major bounce. And so let's get back into the charts here and go back to the daily time frame. And we are starting to get expansion from a very low level. And we did see expansion begin right here. April 25th, we had the cross down, and we had this nice red candle come in here. Which typically that is going to get the direction of the trend. However, look at this, we're popping back up here. And really, if we use our fib retracement tool, what I declare this at, do we want to do it from here? More conservative investors going to wait for a daily closure back above 41,000. A more aggressive trader will say, okay, I'll just take the last full body candle and wait for a daily closure back above 39,500 and declare a bear trap. Are you more aggressive? Are you more conservative? I don't know, but I'm going to give you a few more indicators as to why we are looking for about a 20% move in either direction as volatility gets above the 20 percentile read, and that is when I'll say move is initiated. And right now, we are still making lower highs and lower lows. So that's why, you may want to wait for that closure above 41,000 to call it a, and get that first higher high, and then look for the higher low for a trend reversal on the daily time frame. Right now it is, downwards angled at the moment. And on CMEs, more importantly, the momentum indicator is still angled to the downside. We'll cross up today with any kind of a daily closure above 39,300. We're at 39.7 here right now, but we still have 4 hours and 20 minutes left in the day to go. And we've got volatility pinned on the floor here as well for CMEs. So definitely looking for an explosive move to come here soon, and a lot of volatility. But I want to go back to spot price action and take a look at the 4-hour time frame. And what Mr. Eric Crown said this morning, he said, look, and I tend to agree, as long as we are closing 4 hours below the green 55 or 39,800, then we are still angled to the downside on this move. So with a 4-hour closure above 39,800, I am looking for this topward zone somewhere around 40,800 to get hit, and then probably continuation from there. And that would be the first indication, any kind of a 4-hour closure above 39,800. That'll be the first indication that we are going to be, seeing the early warning signs of a nice little bear trap. So now I want to get on to our 5-day analysis, which we did have a 5-day closure. We did have a 5-day closure about 2.5 days ago, and just taking off some of these drawing totals. What we can see is that 5-day momentum is going to remain to the downside as long as we are closing below, call it 46,000. And the last day 5-day closure was a bit of a indecision candle with low volume. We did get some continuation to the downside so far. But because BBWP has not started to expand, again, we want to see this above the 20 percentile. This, when we get above the 20 percentile, that is going to initiate the 45% move we've been talking about, and that expansion usually takes 30 to 45 days. So the 45% move usually takes 30 to 45 days to play out, and so waiting for that. And I would say, I believe the CME 5-day closure happened yesterday, and that's almost a bearish engulfing candle. And did we cross to the downside? Yeah, we did get a cross to the downside, and still BBWP is coming down. So we haven't got the expansion yet, and that will be expanding from the lowest level ever. So I do imagine this move is going to be quite a nice move. And if we take a look on the chart here, 45% to the upside. 45% to the upside. Where would that bring us here? 45% would put us right around 55,000, 56,000, somewhere in that range. And what is that in line with on our fib chart? That's right in line with the 618, and that is right in line with what we have been saying would be our potential bear trap scenario. So could we get an explosion to the upside, holding this trend line as we speak? Let's see. I think it really has to do with what the dollar does here. The dollar has just hit actually just almost smashed through our 103 target here. We're at 103.50. And the dollar is looking quite bullish here. Actually, we are maxing out on the volatility read, and that's typically when you see the end of these moves. Same thing on the daily. What about on the monthly? So the monthly is going to close in 1 day and 7 hours. And are we going to get a resolution of this range, over the last, back to October 2014. So, we're talking about a 5-year range resolution, which will have major implications on this market. And typically you are going to see a pullback on the first break of the range, which would be helpful for Bitcoin. If the dollar wanted to pull back to 99 cents, I think that would be very helpful for Bitcoin to take a leg up. However, if we kind of smash through this target over the next day or so and, head up to about 106 and then just retest support at 103, I think that would be rather bearish for Bitcoin. So bottom line is I'm going to be long-term bullish for the dollar here, looking for, if we resolve this range, the target over the next 3 to 6 months will be somewhere in maybe over the next year around $1.12, and then probably a move all the way back to the highs of $1.20, which would be macro bearish, I would say, for crypto assets. But, looking 6 to 12 months to 2 years down the road is, hard to do, but on a long-term macro chart, that's how these signals play out. They don't play out in a day or a week or a month. They take 6 to 12 months to play out. That's because we're looking at a monthly time frame. So let's bring it on back to Bitcoin. And what I would say here on the daily time frame, as long as we are closing dailies above $39,000, that's a good signal. We've got a little bear trap. If we come back down below there, it's very similar to what we saw up here. We had the breakout of the range here. We thought Bitcoin was going to head up to 50,000. We made it to 48, got rejected, and then we broke back down below the range, and then really played out some downside. Well, the same thing is here, right? We broke this major support level and looked like we were heading down to 37. Now we're broke back above it. And that's, what we're in for is massive volatility. When 5-day BBWP is this low, right, there's going to be a massive implication. Same thing with, the daily BBWP, right? So massive volatility incoming. There's going to be some up, downs, and sideways here. However, why am I a little bit more on the bearish side? Well, let's look at some of the bearish stuff here. And again, momentum is to the downside. This has pretty much called all the, the direction for the market for the last few major calls, right? What am I talking about here? Well, we had a cross down here at 60,000. We had a cross up here at 30,000, which gave us a run to 49. And then we had a cross back up here, which you can see right here, which got us the move all the way to 60,000, and then the big cross down here from 61,000 down to 30,000. So if we start to see volatility expand alongside momentum remaining to the downside, and i.e. Bitcoin's price has to get back above 46,000 just for the momentum indicator for the Stokes to turn back up, I would imagine this signal plays out. And this is the monthly MACD, which we did talk about last month. So let me get on here. And I'll throw it up on the BLX index, the oldest price history for Bitcoin. And what I would say here is this is the signal we talked about, which was confirmed actually back in January, and why I was more inclined for a bit of a bear trap as Bitcoin bounced up to 48,000. This signal has pretty much not failed every time we've had the monthly MACD cross down. Alongside the histogram increasing, we've seen some, massive moves to the downside. The last one, this was the indicator that tipped us off February 2020, right before March of 2020, the coronavirus dump, where Bitcoin dumped from, where did we go? We went from 10,000 down to 3,900 there. And then this last major cross coming in June 2018, Bitcoin fell from, what was it here? Somewhere around March, April, May, June. Yep, we fell from, call it 10,000 down back to 3,100. And then let's see, another MACD cross to the downside here. Let's go back here to the 2014. Cross to the downside. And it's going to be hard to see on the screen here, but I'm going to try it. That was this guy right here. So that would have been July 2014. Crosses down, and you've got, how big was that move? Bitcoin went from about $700 down to $150. So pretty massive move there. Again, that was Bitcoin going from 668 down to, all right, maybe I was a little bit overextended there. Yeah, 182. So we did have that confirmation back in January, and that's why we said, hey, look, here's what could happen with the price of Bitcoin. I'm going to throw back on the primary chart as we do see here that this signal did come in, really confirmed in February, but crossed in January, confirmed in February. Histogram is increasing. And the monthly, signals, again, they take 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year to play out. And just throwing it back on my primary chart over here. And I would say this here, look, for the MACD, if we fail to close the month in the next 2 days and 7 hours, if we fail to close the month above above 40,000, that is going to be a big indicator that we're going to get a shot down to the green 55. So it needs to close back above $40,000. So why don't I just bring that line to 40,000? Otherwise, and where is that coming in line with? I bet you that is in line with one of our Bollinger Bands. Yep. It's coming right in line with the Trollinger Band right there. Almost right in line. Let's see. Where is that? Yeah, it's right in line. So we need to close above the Trollinger Band right in the middle. Is that? No, that's the Bollinger Band in the middle. The Trollinger Bands are on the outside. So anyways, back on. So that's coming up in 2 days and 7 hours, and you could probably front run that signal with the CMEs here. CMEs are going to close the month tomorrow. So a big day for Bitcoin today. And where does it all start with the daily time frame here? Actually, let's bring it on down to the 4 hour. 4 hour above the green 55. So in the next 2 hours and 56 minutes, if we can close above 39,800, we're going to get a shot up to 40,800. And that'll look very nice for a bit of a, I don't know, do we make a higher high, or is it just going to be another lower high here? That's what we're waiting for. And you can see Nasdaq is kind of leading the party must have had some Amazon to report earnings. I'm looking at it on the news right now. If Amazon and what was the other big one today? Apple come out with good earnings, which I imagine they will. People are still shopping from home. People are still buying iPhones. That might give a little juice to the market. Alongside the dollar hitting a macro target here, any kind of a tick below here, probably coming back down to this 9 exponential. But this thing is massively bullish and has no sign of stopping in the moment. So we want the dollar to come down. We want Nasdaq to, this would be a bearish engulfing candle in the next hour. Let's see if we have any divergences playing out. So going back to this point right here. And I would say, yep, those are lower highs, so that's okay. And do we have any bullish divergence? No. No, so we're in a tight little range here. And here's what I would say on Nasdaq. If we can close back above 13,580, even on an hourly closure, that's going to look good for really if we close anywhere here or higher in the next 5 minutes above this guy, I would be looking for a move up to at least the purple 200, and then that could bleed on into the higher term time frames. This bullish engulfing candle in the next hour, if we can do that, then I'm looking for a shot up to that 13,500, and that'll probably take Bitcoin alongside with it. And Bitcoin, what we're looking for is a 4-hour closure back above 39,000. Yeah, 39,800. That's going to look good for a nice move back to the top side of the range. However, on the other side, any kind of a 4-hour closure back below 39,000, I would actually just move it to 38.9. Any kind of a 4-hour closure back below there, and very, very likely we're going to head back down to the bottom side of the range at 38,000 with a small bounce, and probably head down to that $34,000 target over time. So lots at stake here today. A lot is on the board. Monthly closure coming up. And then what do we have next week? The big wild card, May 3rd through 4th. We're going to have the FOMC meeting, and they're going to go over those inflation numbers and, the rate hikes and et cetera. So if we do get another quarter, maybe this is the last relief rally before they raise interest rates again. Because if the market is bullish, if stocks are still going higher, I suppose Mr. Powell's going to say, oh, the economy can handle that 0.5% rate hike, right? Let's just touch on some altcoins really quick here. And Ethereum, still caught in a range here, above 3180, heading to 3500, below 2800, heading down to 25-ish, somewhere in that range on a 4-hour time frame. More conservative investor going to use the daily, more aggressive use the 4-hour. Luna here holding on for its dear life. And, momentum is crossed to the downside. Volatility is extremely low. So if we see that expansion, alongside volatility expansion with momentum to the downside, we're making a lower high, and we just put in our first lower low. I'd expect this thing to come down to about $69 at a minimum. But that is all going to be hinged upon a probably now 4-hour closure back below here at 86 bucks. 4-hour closure below 86. I mean, this all looks but initiated to me. But if Bitcoin picks itself by its bootstraps, but I do imagine we're going to get a lot of wicks today. A lot of up and down and sideways action, trying to knock out those leverage traders. So Luna, back above 102, good. Below 89, bad. and not necessarily bad, but hey, if it comes back down to 60, 70 bucks, buying opportunity, right? Let's take a look at Aave. Same thing here. Aave needs to get back above 177, and that'll look good for a shot up to 194. Okay. Any kind of a 4-hour closure. I mean, it looks like it just got initiated, honestly. Some of the altcoins, you can see there's a lot of red on the board today. Do we have any big gainers? Ape. This thing's been going ape wild in a blue sky breakout. Personally, I thought we were going to get a little resistance right here at actually right here. I thought, probably going to sell off the high a little bit. Broke right through it. Now we're in a blue sky breakout. This thing looks like it wants to keep going. Volatility is continuing to increase on the 4-hour. Let's see, on the daily, we're maxed out. This is such a new asset. These things are hard to call. This is the Bored Ape Yacht Club governance token. Any of you guys out there got any NFTs? I hope you have some Bored Ape yachts, because you're probably laughing to the bank right now. So do we have any so 1 hour is not even totally maxed out yet. And so before I'm looking for this blue sky breakout to end, I would say, BBWP, we want to see it max out at least on the hourly and the bi-hourly. What's the 3-hour doing? So that means getting to a 100 percentile read. As you can see right here, the last move ended right here for a small correction down to the yellow 21. Yeah, this one is in a blue sky breakout. So last altcoin, what should we pick? Let's take a look at Cardano. And this guy has gotten absolutely obliterated, from the highs back in September 21. Never made a new all-time high, even as Bitcoin made new all-time highs. That's typically not a good signal. And personally, I think the only thing that would save this guy is going to be a daily closure back above. Shoot, I would even have to draw a fib and extend it out here and say, let's move this line up here to 108. Daily closure back above 108, and I'm looking for us to retest 125. I'm just going to get rid of this line. And, back above 125, looking for probably 160 to get hit at a minimum. And that's it for Cardano. Just again, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, we are not financial advisors. It's not financial advice. If you enjoyed our daily analysis, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the button below and get reminded of all the future daily videos we put out, resources we drop. If you're interested in learning about incorporating Bitcoin or other cryptos into your IRA, there is a link in the description below. Thanks, and have a blessed day.